Charlie's back again. I'm an undergraduate marketing major with a BIA minor. I'm talking about kind of future technology. This was specifically me going on the Rivian off-road experience, which was where they just had this kind of like really cool course. It had like a really steep wall that you had to drive on and then up a massive dirt hill around some other uneven terrain and stuff, which was all pretty new to me in general because I've never been off-roading in any capacity. So I didn't really know what to expect going on that. And it was a little scarier than I expected it to be going up and down those hills. While I knew the car itself wasn't going to fall or anything and I wasn't going to be injured by it, it was still kind of like a little weird to see it going down like that. As for electric vehicles, I haven't really gotten much experiences. I've had some friends' parents who've owned them, so I've seen them driving around all the time, but I haven't really had the experience to be in one myself. And one thing that was really crazy was like the acceleration and stuff is just kind of like instantaneous. You just kind of like jolt forward rather than like a car where you can kind of feel the engine rev up, you feel it start moving, and it's like a slow climb. The electric car is just like go right away. And I thought that was kind of weird. I didn't really like that. It made me feel uncomfortable a bit. But on the other hand, it was also crazy because I knew they were the same as a car, like, and people complain about different things like battery capacity and stuff like that, like not being able to charge everywhere you go. So I think I've always kind of focused on those problems and assumed they were like lesser than regular gas cars and there was still a problem. But like being there, I realized like aside from yes, maybe you have to go out of your way a little bit while driving somewhere, it's basically the same as a normal car. And that kind of gave me hope because obviously I think this year has been the most obvious prover that there's got to be something going on with global warming. It's something we got to fix because it's 70 degrees in Denver when it's normally close to freezing, if not freezing. So there's definitely some things going on that I think we need to start working our way to improve. And sadly, I don't think electric cars are that answer. From my knowledge, at least, you need to drive it for like something like 50 or 60,000 miles before you actually get that carbon footprint down to zero, just because of how much it takes to do the lithium mining and the production of everything to make that battery, to build that car and put it all together. I'm sure there's a lot of it that they are able to do with electricity and some cleaner sources like solar power and stuff, but there's still the mining and stuff that like takes precedence as to build the lithium batteries and stuff, and that is terrible for the environment just to build one of them, let alone the hundreds of thousands and millions we'd need to replace all the gas powered cars, and then how much all of those vehicles would need to drive before it really started to make a difference. But it kind of made me start thinking because I know I've seen some hydrogen powered cars and like potential other modes of powering cars and stuff that I think could be that next step afterwards to try and get to a new level that is almost completely different, if not completely different than where we are with electric vehicles. Or maybe there's just some new battery of the future that'll come around that's not using lithium and doesn't require us to mine up a bunch of resources in that way. But I don't know enough about the industry to say what that might be or what it would actually be capable of. But also this is an area where this or electric cars in general, and then also self-driving cars is kind of an area where I'm just cautious in general. Um, I don't like change. I'm not typically trusting of new technologies. So when I saw this, it made me think of like the Waymo cars in San Francisco that I see. And that kind of like that scares me because I've seen those, like obviously they're not getting in major accidents, which is great because I'm sure that would be all over the news if it ever happened. But like the amount of just little accidents, fender benders, going on wrong streets because it just doesn't understand what it's supposed to be doing, especially in a city like San Francisco, makes me worried for as that starts to become more prevalent. I don't know how direct that is going to be with Rivian. I know Tesla does a lot of the stuff around self-driving and they've kind of been the leaders in that. And Rivian has come in a new spot to kind of emerge in the market and try to compete with Tesla, which has been the only real electric only car company for a while. We have other brands that are making their electric vehicles and stuff, but having a direct competitor with Tesla might be good for the market. It might help them to slowly change that battery to something that's actually more practical for us to use in the future, which I think is something that could be really cool. Thank you.